Hi, I'm Kimberly Corp.
And I'm Catherine Corp.
And we're the owners of Pilates on Fifth here in Manhattan and the creators of PilatesOnFifthOnline.com. So, one of the questions we get asked most often by new clients to our studio or visitors to our website is, will I lose weight doing Pilates?
Will Pilates help me lose weight?
Well, yes.
It comes in every...
some incarnation, it's all about Pilates is exercise, will I lose weight? Well, the answer is yes eventually, but maybe no right off the bat, and here's why. First of all, as we all know, cardio is important for fat burning.
Right, you can't spot reduce.
And you can't spot reduce. So if you are trying to get, let's say triceps is a big one, well, we'll just use this. And if you're doing these 100 times a day and you're not changing your diet, or maybe after you do 100 you go get your venti whatever latte, then you might tone the muscle, but you won't lose, you know, the bat wing,
yes,
the kimono sleeve.
Yeah, women, we store our fat above the muscle. So you could work so hard, but it could, your beautifully sculpted muscle could be hiding under a layer of fat. We don't want that.
Right. So what we suggest when you're starting out with Pilates, if you're brand new, you will eventually get to a place where you can move through the exercises and probably get your heart rate up to a low impact zone. But if you're doing it wrong, you may get injured. So take the time to do it right. And we just did a video on the 7 habits of highly effective Pilates practitioners. It's a mouthful. So follow that. But some simple things you can do in the middle of your workout is just march in place. It sounds silly, but like jumping jacks, like something to get your heart rate up.
And throughout your Pilates practice, anything that you do that focuses on arm strength is naturally going to get your heart rate up a little bit. So that's something that even when you're a beginner.
Right, demonstrate an elbow plank.
Okay.
So if this is not part of the classical Pilates repertoire, excellent for the core when done correctly. It's an elbow plank. So notice she's in a straight line from shoulders out the heels. Now this is an isometric contraction. Lower your head just a hair. Yeah. As long as we're here, we might as well focus. So this is super hard. Lift your hips. If she's here, even like a smaller degree, once your hips are flexed, it becomes much
easy here.
It's so easy. So do be honest and look in the mirror. And if you're working with a client, you make sure you look at this straight line.
Right.
Because
you don't want them here.
Yeah, you don't want to be deep, but also glutes exist. So you can't just go by what you're seeing in the mirror. But this is a great way to get your heart rate up because it's an isometric contraction. And so as long as you're breathing, it's fine.
Right, as long as you're breathing. And this is one where you would breathe smoothly.
Yes.
But we've actually both worn heart rate monitors doing an elbow plank, and it's amazing how quickly your heart rate escalates doing an elbow plank.
So that's what we suggest if you're doing new to Pilates and you're trying to get the form right. If you're just, I'm just going to make something up, if you're just doing everything and you're doing it really as fast as you can, that's not going to serve you. So
because you won't get the results. You might burn more calories, but you won't get the Pilates body that we all want.
So then we also get asked, well, what cardio should I do? Because we tell people they should do cardio. And
Kimberly has a great answer for this.
You should choose the cardio that you will actually do.
And it can be anything.
Like
you can have fun and do cardio at the same time.
Right. Cardio should not be punitive. And most people view cardio as punitive. And so if you love going to a spin class, go to a spin class. Just stretch your hip flexors afterwards. If you love dancing, then find an aerobics class that has a little more of a dancey element. We actually just put a really fun cardio kickline.
Well, we think it's fun.
We think it's fun. And a cardio kickline workout, because we were Rockettes, so for us, you know, dancing is fun. But check out Cardio Kickline. It might be hard, but it's meant to be something you build up to. So after that, what do we have?
Well, then we also, you know, something like the 100. I mean, usually you wouldn't do the 100 more than one time in a workout, but that's going to get your heart rate up. Something like swimming gets your heart rate up. So you can find the Pilates exercises that get the heart rate up a little bit more to build more of that into your Pilates practice.
And finally, if you're only doing mat Pilates, actually, let's go ahead and stand up. If you're only doing mat Pilates and your goal is toned arms, then you need to invest in this very inexpensive thing called a exercise band, stretch band, resistance band. They all have different names, because then before or after you can add in biceps.
Right.
You can add in triceps. You can deltoids. We just did all of them. You can do so much more for your arms. Of course, in classical Pilates, there is a push-up sequence. But if you're not at the stage where your core is strong enough to support a push-up, then you're better off standing and safely using a band for toning.
Right. And finally, genetics play a huge role in how the fat arrives on your body. Like we could, if I gain weight here, I could lose weight here, but I'm also going to lose it other places.
You can't, again, as we said, you can't
spot reduce. And
you can't spot build.
Right.
Like we'd like some to come to some other
Yeah, so
areas.
you will, you'll get the body that you exercise for to a degree. Like if you're a marathon runner, you're going to look more like a marathon runner. If you're a sprinter, you're going to get the bigger thighs for sprinting. But be careful at looking at someone saying, I want that person's body, because there's a whole bunch of DNA that factors into that.
And DNA is the key point. Genetics sort of determines where we put on fat and where we store it in our bodies.
There's a reason, like the cross-country runners became cross-country runners and the sprinters became sprinters. They had a genetic predisposition that their muscle fibers would form to allow them to do those things.
So again, it's a yes and no question. Don't give up on Pilates, but make sure you're doing it safely and progress to a level at which you can move faster through the exercises, get your heart rate up, and burn a little fat while getting the great benefits of Pilates.